So as most of you guys probably know by now, we can be expecting trading coming this weekend in Grow a Garden. Now, trading will consist of at least trading pets and crops, and hopefully gears and seeds, and possibly even eggs. But we know for sure we can trade pets and, well, crops. But the main thing that you can expect is, well, trading pets. And trading pets is probably going to be the most desirable thing to trade. So, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you a full guide to all the values of all the pets in the game and what certain mutations bring to a table with bringing the pet's value up or down. Now, let's get into the video. Alright, so we got our tier list here, and we got F tier, D tier, C tier, B tier, A tier, and S tier. S tier is going to be the best, and F tier is going to be the worst. Now, let's start off with some mediocre pets. And a pet that I really think is an underdog pet is actually going to be the starfish. Now, if you don't know by now, the starfish, well, is very, very good for leveling up pets to level 50. It has the ability where it can gain a ton of XP really quickly. Equip that with a Dilophosaurus and a capybara, and you will be making level 50 pets left and right and getting those free upgrades for extra pet equips and egg slots. Now, this might be a controversial opinion, but I am putting it into C tier. I think it's very good at what it does. So, yeah. Now, let's get out of the way some of the really, really bad pets that aren't going to have any value, such as these dogs. These dogs are really only going to be valuable for, well, YouTubers who want to do trade-up series from golden labs and bunnies all the way up to kitsunes and other stuff. So that also means golden lab is going into F tier, and same with the bunny. So that's how it's looking. Those are our 3 pets in F tier right now. Now, the next pet we're going to be putting on the list is actually going to be the queen bee. Now, the queen bee hasn't been in the game for a while now, so it will have some additional value compared to other pets that, well, have been in the game longer. So I'm going to be putting queen bee into B tier. I think it can definitely get a lot of offers, but I don't think it can, well, be part of a trade for a kitsune or anything super rare like that. Now, speaking of kitsune, I'm going to put this out here right now. Kitsune is going on top of S tier. And if there was an SS or S plus tier, it would be going in there. It is by far going to be the most valuable S tier and even pet in the game. So valuable that other S tier pets won't be able to, well, afford it. Like most S tier pets, you can exchange either or and have an even trade. But with the kitsune, well, who's ever trading the kitsune should be getting multiple of the best pets in the game. Now, next pet we're going to talk about is the crab. Unlike the starfish can be used even though it is a very bad pet because it doesn't really have any other ability besides gaining XP for itself. So that's why I'm putting the crab into F tier. Not very good and not much uses for it. Now we got the ostrich, which if you don't know by now, ostriches are really good for leveling up pets, and I do have a video on how to get level 50 pets and even level 50 and beyond pets really quickly, and they do revolve ostriches. Now, I think ostriches would normally be around a C tier pet, but I am going to put it into B tier, not because of its rarity and not because of actually its value, but how useful it is, and I feel like people will want to overpay more for an ostrich as trading has been in the game longer. Next pet we have is the capybara, and I'm going to put it into D tier. Now, here is why. Capybaras are great if you're brand new to the game. Very good for leveling up pets really quickly. However, if you are more of an OG player and played the prehistoric event, you'll know that the Dilophosauruses are a lot better. But you know what? I think D tier might be a little low, so I'm putting it in the C tier. But if I think about that again, it's not really going to have much trade value. This isn't a value list on the best pets. that you want to progress through the game, which I will probably be making a video on that soon, but more valuable pets. And it just doesn't have the value for what it does. So that's why I'm putting it into D tier, but it still does decent. Now we got the praying mantis. The praying mantis is a very sad pet because it's very close to getting the dragonfly, which you'll see how good it is in a few. But the praying mantis, I am just going to put down into D tier. I don't like it, and just not very good. Now, next pet we have is the dragonfly. Now, the dragonfly, if you don't know, can give gold mutations to pets, so that's going to be very desirable and going to have high demand. Plus, it's only a 1% from the bug egg, which is only 3% of the time will actually stock in the shop. So it is extremely, extremely rare. But there still is a decent amount of them out there, and it's always going to be obtainable in the game. So I'm putting it at A tier right now. But I do think most of these pets, such as mimic octopus, red fox, and dragonfly, will drop down probably to C tier eventually as more and more keep getting hatched, and they're just not going to keep having the same demand. Now that brings me into mimic octopus, and honestly, it is an extremely, extremely good pet. And the only reason why I'm not putting it into S tier is due to its rarity and its cooldown. Its cooldown is a little too long, and for it being a 1%, it definitely should be, but that cooldown really bumps it down to A tier. But it's a very good pet and can mimic other pets. Now, the next pet I'm going to be talking about is the orange tabby and the mooncat. Now, if you don't know, orange tabby and mooncats will help not level up, but make your bone blossoms, candy blossoms, any pet, or any fruit, that you want much bigger. And especially with the mooncat, it can work very good with moon or night type fruits. That's why I'm putting both of them into C tier, because they're not going to have a ton of value because there is a lot of them out there, but there is a good amount of demand for them. Now, next pet we are going to talk about is the raccoon. Now, if you don't know, the raccoon steals other players' fruits. And because of that, it works very similar to the kitsune. And like I said earlier, S-tier pets are usually going to be interchangeable for other S-tier pets. But I did say kitsune is not going to be interchangeable with any of them because of how good it does. Because it essentially does what a raccoon does, but while giving it a mutation. So I'm definitely going to say it's going to go up into S-tier value-wise, but doesn't compete against a kitsune. I would take multiple raccoons for a kitsune. Now, speaking of S tier, we want to talk about the Disco Bee. Disco Bee is also going to be an S tier item because it can give the Disco mutation to fruits every so often, and it was a 0.5% chance, which is pretty rare, so it definitely deserves its spot in S tier, and it's definitely going to be high in demand. Now, what's not going to be high in demand are raptors. Bring them down in a D tier. It's not going to be good. No one's going to really want them. And same thing with bald eagle. There's just so many of them that they're not going to have a ton of trade value. But we can't say the same about the red fox. But I am putting the red fox into B tier / C tier. And here is why. I would be putting it into a category in between C tier and B tier, like a C plus tier, because it is a permanent pet. That means it's not going away, and it's a 1.5% chance, which is very, very common if you're opening a lot of eggs, which is basically a 1 in 60. You're going to most likely get one. So I do see it dropping very hard, very soon. And it's just one of those pets that I don't think is going to be able to keep its value. But it's a very cool pet, so that's why I'm putting it into B tier. Now, the next one we have is the T-Rex and its counterpart. Now, the T-Rex is very good, spreads mutations. That's really all I can say about it. It's just a very, very good pet. And that's why both of them deserve to be in the A tier. And I would probably put them in the A plus tier if that was a thing. Or very, very low S tier. Because you can't really trade them for a raccoon. But it's still a fairly decent pet. And it's going to have some good trade value. Now, wrapping it down here, we have the Dilophosaurus. The Dilophosaurus, I definitely find being worth a decent amount but I don't know how much demand there's going to be for them after a while, because I feel like as updates go on, there's going to be very similar pets that do very similar things. So I am slapping that in the C tier, but I do think it will drop down to D tier eventually, but then rise again because it is a limited time pet. And now, coming down to our last few pets for today's video is the butterfly. If you don't know by now, the butterfly is very, very similar to the dragonfly. And I personally think that it deserves to be in that S tier. Because if dragonfly is in the gold or A tier and it gives the gold mutation, well, the butterfly gives the rainbow mutation. So it's obviously going to be worth more and way more desirable. I honestly feel like people are going to way overpay for a butterfly, such as possibly a dragonfly plus a B tier pet. A tier plus B tier can probably get you the S tier dragonfly or disco bee, depending on what pet it is in B tier, because obviously an ostrich isn't going to do it, but I do feel like in smaller trades, ostriches can be worth about a B tier. Now, one more thing I would like to say is about the starfish. I am not talking about a level 0 starfish. I am talking about a high level starfish, which is 50 or more. And that brings us into our next category, which is 50 more to 75. These are the most desirable levels because level 50 pets can essentially make a trade happen and not happen. Someone knowing, okay, if I trade for this level 0 pet, well, I'm going to have to grind all the way up to a level 50 version so then I can put it into the mutation machine. Now, if they're a little hesitant about the trade, you can pull out the same pet, but level 50, and they're most likely going to want to do the trade now. And also, like the starfish, you're not going to really want to put it into the mutation machine, but rather sacrifice it for pet slots and pet egg slots. So, highly, highly recommend getting level 50 pets. And if you watch my video on how to prepare for the trading update, I did say level up your pets because they are going to be highly desirable. And I would put level 75 pets into A tier. Any pet, even a dog. Obviously, a dog's going to be worth, a level 75 dog is going to be worth a lot less than a level 75 red fox. But still, it's going to have significantly more value. And the last pet for today's video I want to talk about is the blood kiwi. Now, I have a very interesting opinion on the blood kiwi. I love them, and I know personally I am going to be going for a full team of 8 blood kiwis. Why exactly? Well, if you have been following videos on my channel, I have released multiple different ways to get the corrupted kitsune really quick and the normal kitsune really quick. But the blood kiwi basically helps you once the event's over. Because right now, I am sitting on 400 Zen eggs. That is going to take me ages and ages to open. But with the blood kiwi, well, that goes down. All that time goes down. It will bump up time from how long it takes to hatch the eggs. Now, I don't think as soon as trading's going to come out, it's going to be a C tier to B tier pet. I think it's going to be down here closer to D tier and low C tier, but I'm putting it into B tier for now, and I definitely think it can only rise up in value. I know that's a very interesting opinion, but I definitely think it will rise. Now, those are all the pets I have for today's video. Those are mainly the most common pets you're going to see and the rarest pets you are going to see in Grow a Garden while trading. I hope you found this video helpful, and please make sure to like and subscribe to become one of the first 10K OG subscribers on the channel. And speaking of OG, join my Roblox group, King Flag Family, today to save your slot at OG member rank in my Roblox group. Yes, and subscribe and share this video because 2,500 subscribers, once we reach that, massive giveaway. Stay tuned for that. And I'll see you in the next one.